Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 167th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and our best friends over at Audio Technica. I am your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the Dream, Salim TD. Salim Abraham, how are you going, my man?
I'm really well. Brendan, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. It is a Saturday morning here in the AU. Miss Hart is tied up with West Coast, Best Coast things over in the US of A. So we're going to try and patchwork together a quality episode for our listeners here. We've got some pretty tasty topics and points of conversation to go through today. But maybe we could jump on in and talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing. I know it's been a hot minute since we've seen you. Anything you want to bring to the table?
Wow, you really set me up to fail. And you know damn well that the answer to that question is not a great deal.
Yeah, but I've got a similar answer to that. So, like, we're in a similar rickety boat.
You could, like, lead into it a little bit with, like, hey, I heard you on holiday. How was holidays? You know? Probably not a lot of time to play video games on holidays. How was Summer Bay? How was Alf's Bake Shop? Really well, thanks, Brendan. Mate, you know what? Fuck you. I have played video games. I played Battlefield 1. You didn't expect me to say that, did you?
Oh, that wasn't on the docket. You swerved me.
Yeah. Or you try and throw me under the bus. I'll take you with me. I did play Battlefield 1. I now, because of my crazy friend who comes in and plays
games. Is he just like squatting now?
House.
Has he got squatters' rights on your room after you went away on holiday? Is that just his room now?
He did use my room to play video games while I was away.
It is the weirdest shit.
But it's okay because now I'm playing Battlefield 1. Can I just say, a lot of fun, great game, but the control scheme for the like biplanes, like the attack planes, I have no idea how to do it. I think it's all keyboard.
I usually just crash the planes, like not by choice. I'll jump into them and just can't steer them and just crash them. Like, I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, right.
I'll either get in a tank or just be on foot.
Yeah, well, it seemed to be such a rare occurrence that a plane is available for you to like just spawn into. And I just took the chance as soon as I had it. And I literally could not figure out how to maneuver the plane at all. Because it didn't seem to be too much based on the mouse. I'll have to really like look that shit up. But anyway, Battlefield, kind of a lot of fun. I'm not awful. I typically get a positive KDA, but
well, that's good.
But I definitely have room for improvement.
How's your housemate? Oh, I guess he's kind of your housemate now. Roommate, I should say. Is he a bit of a beast at this game?
He's great at this game. Yeah, he's played a lot of Battlefield 4. His favorite thing to do is get on the old Billy and pop around and play endless hours of Battlefield. But
I had to think for a minute what you were talking about. When you said the old Billy, I'm like, is that a war term for like the little PG. Bikes you squirt around on or something? But no, I'm with you.
Brendan, as you are well aware, this show's rating is PG for parental guidance. And we can only make subtle references to drugs. That's true. That are for the parents who listen to this show. But the children will laugh and they won't really know what we're talking about. But the good news is he's also playing Tekken 7, my friend.
I saw it, and this was the first time he's ever played Tekken, right?
This is the first time. And it was inside there was a swell of emotion. It was a combination of pride that I managed to convert someone over to the Tekken 7 side. And cringe, because it was fucking atrocious watching him play. It's just like awful. And but I've also been playing. So season 3 started. We didn't really talk too much about this when it happened a couple of weeks ago. But season 3 of Tekken's just kicked off. Everyone's ranks have been reset. I just recently purchased the game again on PlayStation, and I am absolutely making my presence known.
Oh, you are shooting up the rankings.
I am making children out of of grown adults
Okay.
on PC right now. So much so that I will say, if you are listening and have a copy and want to learn a thing or two, hit me up because I will fucking lay you out.
I thought you were just going to say, if you have a copy, just grab the copy, snap it in half, throw it in the bin because you're never going to beat it.
It'll save us both a lot of time and agony, but I am sending an open challenge out to the universe. You know how good it feels, Brendan? I don't know if you ever have this at any part of your life. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But do you know what it feels like to just, sometimes I'm at work and it's a business park, right? Thousands of people. And I just think to myself, in this business park, I'm probably the best at Tekken 7. In this suburb, I'm probably the best at this video game. In this nation, that's definitely going too far.
On this continent.
That is definitely going too far. But I do have this thought sometimes, and it's like, I think, no, you know what? Probably.
I don't think I sort of extend out to the state or something, but I can certainly say in business parks or at any given time in a suburb, I feel I could hold my own in a few games that I play. So,
yeah. And of course, big ups and big respect to Battle Cat Bunker in Maryland's where the true Tekken 7 greats go and play. But yeah, I'm submitting an open challenge. If you have it on Steam, let me know and let's tee up some games. How
much is it to buy? Because I still need to get a copy of 7.
Look, it was actually 50% off recently too in a publisher weekend on
missed
Steam.
the boat.
Big pain in the ass, but it's I think it's like $60.
Okay.
50. It's like 56 AU.
I'll see if I can get my hands on it on the PS4 because I still need to do that by the end of the year. I need to get some now with the new season. Maybe I can get them ranks up that you
I
challenged me
promise
to
you,
do.
I will make a champion out of you. Yeah,
Okay.
I challenged you to get to. I think I challenged you to get to like fighter rank, which is some serious innings, and you kind of need to know enough to get there. But it's easy. Like, trust me, we'll do it. The other game I've been playing is Final Fantasy VII on mobile. After the success I had with Final Fantasy Tactics, I needed a new Snap game, and I decided to go further into the rabbit hole with Final Fantasy VII. Look, it is what it is. It's Final Fantasy VII. You know how you feel about it, so I won't talk too much about it other than to say that the controls on the phone take a little bit of getting used to. It switches between, you know how sometimes a game will just let you stick your thumb anywhere for your left analog stick and just it'll let you move like that. It switches between that and a fixed manual sort of directional keypad.
Okay.
Which doesn't move and doesn't let you just kind of touch wherever you want to on the screen. That takes a little bit of getting used to. But other than that,
you need to get the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One controller out and hook it up. Get that Bluetooth controller support going and play that way.
Yeah, probably. The other interesting thing is it doesn't actually lend itself to be like a great snap game because the save points are so few and far between.
So it's a long snap.
Yeah, they're not few and far between, but it's like on a train trip for 30 minutes, you're not guaranteed necessarily to be near a save point when you need to be. So it's kind of tricky. Anyway, that's me, mate. How about you? What have you been up to?
Well, full disclosure, I haven't played a ton of games this week myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I led that off at the start. I said we're in that same rickety boat, so I'm being honest. Been playing a bit more Gears 5. Been trying to get good at the multiplayer to try and say that I'm the best in the business park or the best in the suburb.
Good man.
At the moment, I'm not.
Best on the block.
Yeah, I'm at least best in the street. Because a lot of the people that live around us, I don't think are gamers, or some of them are a little bit elderly. So yeah, I don't think they're at home, honing their craft on Gears 5 of an evening after the early bird special. But yeah, it's good. It's good fun. Anyone who's played Gears, especially Gears multiplayer, knows what it's about. But just trying to get the roadie run with the in and out of combat, with trying to get that snap aim sort of speed back, it's a struggle, that's for sure. But enjoying that, sort of dabbling here and there. Finally took the plastic off of Borderlands 3. So I had that loaded up on the Xbox One for a while, but hadn't played it just because of Gears and a few other games that are going on. So finally cracked that. Probably played maybe 2 hours. Not a huge amount of time in the game, but really digging it. I've gone with Mose, who's the gunner, and she's got this big bear tank, like it's the Iron Bear mech tank that can come in and just wreak havoc. So it's something different because I usually play as the Siren in Borderlands. I've typically found myself playing the Siren all the time. But
cool.
Because I don't really know anybody that's playing Borderlands on Xbox, which is a silly decision on my behalf, Siren obviously lends itself to playing in a squad because you can sort of synergize and buff as opposed to just being all out damage. So I sort of switched to Moe's just to play it solo, but I'm feeling I need to pick it up on PC or PS4 just because that's where our peeps are playing, so I can get in and play this together. So I'll see what I can do there and probably jump platform because I'm not too far in. As I said, 2 hours, just mucked around, went through the opening of the game. You know, you get handled your initial abilities, sort of killed a heap of stuff, you know, usual Borderlands. Like, you played a Borderlands game, you'll know exactly what Borderlands 3 is about. It's not got a nice graphical bump. Combat still seems tight and frenetic and chaotic, and guns just raining from the heavens. But I'm digging it. I'll sort of add more to it, I think, over the next week when I dive into it a little bit more and sort of sink my teeth further into that story and try and get to level 50. But I'm digging it, man. Are you going to try and pick up Borderlands 3 at all, or are you just sort of letting this ship sail and just waiting for Death Stranding that comes out in a little over, what?
Oh, of course.
5 weeks, 6 weeks?
It's tough. You know, it's really hard because the game's got a lot of hype, and there's obviously a lot of noise around the game at the moment on the socials. I don't find myself like too interested in Borderlands as a universe. Yeah, I've played Borderlands. I played Borderlands 1 and 2, and not to the extent that I think, you know, someone like Miss Ali Hana has.
Yeah.
It never pulled me in, and everything I've read about the game is that it's like great game, same. And so I just think, nah, fuck it.
Yeah,
but I've been reading a lot about it. Have you yet exploited the loot cave?
No, I have not.
Up?
I was reading about that yesterday or the day before, but yeah, they've got a loot cave similar to was in OG Destiny, where you could just farm enemies to obviously farm weapons.
That you and I spent hours upon hours in front of.
We did. So cheesy, but you know, it works. And if there's a way to potentially get a leg up or get some sweet loot, most people are going to take advantage of that. You know, I'm going to make no buts about that. I'd get amongst it and try and farm some good weapons to make my overall gameplay better. So when I get on there on the PC or PS4, whichever side I settle on, jump on with some squad mates and go farm that cave. That's for sure. So watch this space. If you see a rando named Brendan 8-Bit on one of the platforms just shooting at a cave, come give me a wave. I'll be there. But yeah, man, that's all I've really been doing. Like working a lot, watching a lot of telly. Nothing really of note to talk about as far as watching anything new. It's a weird patch, like watching through the final season of Preacher, which is great. But outside of that, it's just standard, like watching The Block and house reno shows and all that kind of boring shit that I love.
Let me give you a great tip. Top Boy on Netflix.
Top Boy?
I'm actually, I started watching it yesterday. It's sort of like a London street gangster sort of story. It's good. I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
Give it a watch.
I'll have to give it a peek. It's been out a while. I just sort of done a quick Google on it. It's been around since 2011.
Top Boy. Well, yeah. I just came across it yesterday and I was like, well, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. No, I'll give it a peek. I'm always looking for new stuff to sort of digest, and until sort of Doom Patrol comes out, that'll do me, I think. Mm-hmm. But let's quick bit of housekeeping before we dive into the main course here. Obviously, we've got PAX Australia coming up in 3 weeks now, something crazy like that. We're also going to have a lot of presence on the Audio Technica booth there, so pop on by, say hello. There's going to be live podcast recordings every day on the hour outside of lunch because people need their lunch to keep their energy levels high. There's also 2 panels. We've got a Mario Tennis tournament running on the Friday evening, and then on the Saturday evening, we've got the returning party mode panel for the 3rd year running. Do Nerdstradamus take it out 3 years in a row? Watch this space and see. Full spoilers. I'm the only returning member of Nerdstradamus, so it's going to be anyone's game, that's for damn sure. While you're there checking out cool stuff, head on over to patreon.com/we're8bit. Throw your support behind us as well as the other members of the hashtag 8bit Collective. Starting from the low price of $1, you'll get early access to our fortnightly podcast, the 8bit Cast, as well as access to exclusive perks, merch, and giveaways. A few other quick housekeeping news reads: audiotechnica.com.au for the best in audio-based equipment. You need headphones, gaming headsets, microphones, turntables. With those headphones, you want in-ear, you want over-ear. They've got it all. audiotechnica.com or audiotechnica.com.au. And last but certainly not least, the best merch store in the video game land, we are 8bit.storeenvy.com. We literally have everything to cover your body from head to toe. And then you can snuggle up with us with a pillow as you go to bed. So we're 8bit.storeenvy.com. Into some news.
This week's news headlines.
All right, my man. The first bite-sized banger I'm going to give to you is this. The evolution of everyone's favorite leek-loving bird Farfetch'd has been revealed. Meet Sirfetch'd, a leek-wielding knight-like bird who is a bigger, stronger version of Farfetch'd, outfitted with a leafy shield. What do you think of this big staunch unit?
Yeah, I like it. I like that. I like that he's like a lancer.
Yeah.
It's
very
cool.
regal.
Yeah, it's cool. This game's going to be great.
Yeah.
I just think Sword and Shield are going to be so much fun.
It looks so pretty. So damn pretty. And I'm keen as a bean to get me some Sirfetch'd into my team of 6 for a while. Like he's just, as you said, he's a boss. He's got that sort of turn of the century knight look to him. He's got some big power eyebrows that, you and I can appreciate a set of power brows.
Fan. Yeah.
So, big Sirfetch'd.
Yeah.
Sirfetch'd. It's the best. So dumb, but it's the best. Like, I guess it's better than some of them other Pokemon we talked of, like the one that was actually made of cream. I can't remember the name of that one anymore, but, Sirfetch'd is a little bit more realistic than a cream-based Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yes, Sirfetch'd. We'll see more of him
weird.
very shortly, or her, in the coming months when Sword and Shield drop. The next bit of news that's come out over the past week, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 to support cross-progression. So obviously we've already had cross-play confirmed in a previous announcement a few weeks back, so you'll be able to play with your PC, PS4 or Xbox mates in any combination of party. But the cool thing is having that cross-progression, so depending on what platform you call home, you level up that character, you get your prestige ranks, your gun skins and whatever else, you can carry that across the other platforms. So I thought that's pretty cool. Obviously they've got the beta going on again now. I think it's the open beta this weekend to everyone to get in and play a bit of COD MW. I'm going to miss that. I'm just going to wait for the full release and get in Ground Zero, get them boots on the ground and pwn all the noobs. Are you going to be getting on some COD? I know we used to all play pretty heavily way back in the day, but yeah, I think it's sort of fallen away from us all a bit. What do you reckon?
Oh, totally. No, I've got zero desire to play this, especially now that I'm like Battlefield 1ing.
Yep.
You know? No, I've never really been terribly interested in first-person shooters. I'm interested to just sort of understand how the handshake works between all of these different platforms for your information, how that carries across, what the identifying link between them is. That to me is really interesting about this whole thing, but that's just, nerdy info security side of it. It's really good. It is fantastic that you can now do that. One of the biggest frustrations I think a lot of people have when playing the same game between platforms is that you basically start from scratch every time. So I think this is a good up. Just interested to see how it all works. Yeah,
like it's a nice contrast to what little old me was saying about Borderlands 3 earlier. Here I am on my lonesome on Xbox One with all the other peeps I know on PC and PS4. I got to get a new game, get a new save to be able to play with them.
Come on, Gearbox, pull your socks up.
My goodness. Okay, the next quick hitter. The next Sony State of Play has been confirmed for September 24th for the US listeners and September 25th at 6 a.m. for us here in Australia. Dreamo, what do you think is going to be shown at this little Sony State of Play event this September 24th? So the last one, they showed some footage of Medieval. They showed the first trailer for the Predator Hunting Grounds game. They also showed an extended trailer of Final Fantasy VII. What's going to be shown this week?
I think we will see some Death Stranding stuff. I think we will see some Last of Us stuff. And I think And by I mean pushsquare.com. No, but I'd be like super interested to see some more Last of Us stuff, because as far as I can tell or remember, we haven't seen anything since the announcement trailer, right?
Yeah, I'm with you and Press Square as well. Seems we're all on a similar train of thought. I certainly think we'll get a little bit more on Death Stranding, which is just going to add to more confusion for myself, at least. Yeah, The Last of Us 2, I think, is due for a little bit of a refresh. Maybe we'll get another trailer, an extended trailer for Medieval or Predator. More Predator's never a bad thing, but outside of that, I'm just excited to see what they've got cooking. Obviously, they were notably absent at E3 this past year, so yeah, let's see what Sony are going to bring to us this week in just 3 days' time for us. So it's pretty exciting. Just announce more content, more details. Just announce The Last of Us 3, 4, 5, and 6 in this one state of play. Just let us know that we've got another 4 to look forward to after number 2 comes out, and I'd be a very happy boy.
Come on, Naughty Dog, put your socks up.
Yeah, what he's doing. Well, but I know what the Coalition are doing right now. And they're celebrating because Gears 5 has biggest first-party launch for Xbox since Halo 4. Furthermore, it doubled the first week of sales for Gears of War 4, and the shooter also set first-party records on PC, becoming the biggest Xbox Game Pass launch on the platform and Microsoft's best ever first-party launch on Steam. It also tripled the performance of Gears of War 4 on PC, though specific numbers weren't revealed. So there isn't Gears fatigue around, that's for sure. It seems there's been a positive uptake. Obviously, Game Pass has a lot to do with that because it's hypothetically a free game with an asterisk beside it included in the Game Pass. But it's cool to see that there's still a big appetite for this franchise, and yeah, I'm a big fan of what they've done with Gears 5.
Is this is there any other driving factors behind this? I think you probably, I don't know, you might have a better view of this than me because Xbox and also Gears of War fan from way back. But there's been a lot of first party launch titles, particularly since Game Pass started. So if you think of like Sea of Thieves, for instance, what is it that sort of set this aside in your opinion, mate?
I'm wondering if it is because Xbox is primarily starved for those big AAA tentpole titles, and because I think Gears sits maybe ever so slightly under Halo, I guess, in the pecking order of those exclusives. It is one of the more beloved titles for Xbox fans and now PC fans, so they have been probably hungering for some exclusivity, and Gears, it's been a franchise that's been around for a while. It's kept pretty true to its craft over the games, but there is some slight shifts in the play style of Gears 5, and there's sort of some open world areas that you can explore freely and go from sort of hub to hub, which is pretty cool. The story, sort of the shift in focus, like focusing on Kate Diaz, I think is really good too, instead of having Marcus Phoenix or JD as the focal points from 1 all the way through. So sort of the tone's a little bit different. The back and forth with her and Dell is really great. It's less of that machismo bravado that you've gotten from all the other ones. It's a little bit more grounded, I think. But it's well executed. Like, it's a gorgeous looking game. The combat's still tight. That sort of cover shooter thing that they helped define really is still there in spades. But yeah, I guess it stands alone because it isn't a first-person shooter like every other game that's coming out these days. Like, you don't see many of these third-person over-the-shoulder shooters anymore. So maybe that does differentiate a little bit from the market. I don't know.
Okay.
But I like it. I like it. It's sort of, I forgot that it was coming out, as I mentioned last week. I thought it was out in October for some reason. So when it popped up on my dashboard, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll download this and play it. I have not regretted a second of that. But yeah, Gears 5, it's good to see it's having some success for the Green brand. It's always nice to see either of the 3 big houses sort of having success with their exclusives, because it's just going to mean they're going to invest more and focus more in that space. So yeah, no doubt we'll get some DLC coming. We've got Batista in the game now. We've got the T-800 Terminator. We've got Sarah Connor in there. It's just bananas. It's ridiculous, but it works. It works. I was shooting the shit out of T-800s in multiplayer last night. It felt great. Now, Dreamo, I got a question for you. Do you want to make out with Keanu? I'm going to take that silence as a big yes. Well, too bad you can't. And this is an article by Joseph Noop at IGN.
Fuck you.
Cyberpunk 2077 and the subsequent reveal that Keanu Reeves would be the player's closest ally throughout the game had one question remaining at the front of everyone's mind. Can we smooch Keanu Reeves? Prepare to be disappointed. If you are hoping to lock lips with the sci-fi bard, according to an interview with Video Games Chronicle, you cannot romance Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk 2077. And here is a direct quote from Max Piers, one of the level designers. Keanu plays a crucial role in the game, but as far as the option to romance him, I don't believe you can, end quote. So, hearts have broken instantaneously, unanimously, all over the world because everyone wants a piece of Keanu, but sadly, you're just going to have to admire him and his cybernetic sort of enhancements from afar as opposed to being able to touch that button, smooch them lips.
It would be so weird to me if he was an option.
Yeah.
Like a romance option. It just seems so not right. You know? I think he deserves to not be a romance option. He's kind of above that. And if he was any lower, I feel like it would just be wrong and dirty.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's almost that meta that like Keanu has the option to romance you. It's not the other way. It's like he'll decide if he wants to romance you in the game or something.
It strikes like this really odd like tone of almost like VR dating or porno, right? Like it's just it's so odd that a real life person in a game could be a dating option. It just changes how I think I would perceive Keanu Reeves in general, or anyone else who was in that position. I just don't think it's a good idea, and I'm glad that he's not a romance option.
I wonder if they asked him about it and he sort of had to say yay or nay, or if they just made that decision from the jump. Like,
I imagine there would have been conversation about it for sure. Because if you've got Keanu Reeves, like what can we get this guy to do? I think like there would be a lot of conversation about all the interactions the player could have with this character. Yeah,
he's just mocap and doing like little hip thrust moves and things like that, and moans and everything.
There will be a world of like there will be a whole like subset of Cyberpunk 2077 players who are trying to push that relationship to the limit.
Oh yeah,
sexual, like with the sexual lens on.
Yeah.
Just trying to see what you can and can't get away with in the game. There'll be some data mining, no doubt. There'll be a whole bunch of people trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, you talk about furries. There'll be like this new subsect that'll be like Reevesies or something like that, and it'll just be people trying to just get into Keanu's skin and just
K-punks.
Yeah,
they call them
K-punks. That's great.
Yeah,
yeah, but the world has shed many a tear over this article, I dare say. But I'm with you. It's it's nice to keep that separate because it does sort of then start to bleed into that weird erotica sex bot type of thing, which we're seeing more and more of these days, you know. But let's keep the Reeves pure. You know, he's a nice man. He eats soup in the park. You know, he donates money to his crewmates. He's got a motorbike company. He's back for the Matrix, which I think is unnecessary, but you know, that's a story for another day. But we'll see him soon enough in Cyberpunk, as well as Bill and Ted 3, which is still another one that's got me shaking my head.
Good on him. I love him. Keep going.
All right. And the last bit of news we're going to talk about today, this one's a bit of a mind bender as well, so strap in, listeners. Kojima thinks more Death Stranding games are needed to start a new genre. This comes via way of Alyssa Judge at IGN. Speaking to GameSpot, Kojima explained that he believes without sequels, Death Stranding will not establish Strand as a continuing genre. When you create something new, you have to create a sequel and then a third version of it, or it will not remain a genre, he said. When this game comes out, there will be a lot of pros and cons, and these elements could become the essence of the core part. But I think it's better that I keep it going in a sequel. In regards to how many games the genre needs to flourish, Kojima says, probably at least 1.5 and then 2. Maybe. At least so that it remains and people are aware of the genre. Death Stranding is what Kojima terms a Strand game, which he says has never existed before. While it's still slightly unclear exactly what defines a Strand game, it seems to be bound by social elements. The PlayStation page for Death Stranding promises asynchronous multiplayer where you help other travelers without ever crossing paths. While Kojima has previously expressed his frustration for gaming's treatment of death, he believes the finality of game over is an echo of arcade coin-op culture that doesn't exist anymore. So players' lives are more fluid in Death Stranding. Death Stranding has drawn heavily upon the Japanese concept of omiyari. There's no direct translation for this into English, but it essentially means compassion or empathy and requires taking responsibility for others' well-being in a social structure. It seems this concept is a core pillar of the Strand genre he wants to build. What in God's name? I think your roommate and Kojima have been hanging out with Billy a bit too much and getting into some interesting conversations. This is something.
Crazy old Kojima. It's ambitious, absolutely ambitious, and look, I think there's a sort of a weird lens on this whole game and Kojima at the moment because none of it seems to make a great deal of sense. Like the plot of the story doesn't seem to make a great deal of sense at the moment, and the experience that he's going for as well. But I actually really applaud it. I think, it's great to have someone making not safe choices with a game. Like it's really cool. And I do also, I think it's a bit reductive of Kojima to suggest that this game might be the first of its kind in its genre. I reckon once we start to play it, we'll probably see a lot of similarities between this game and plenty of other games. And I feel like even in the description he gives about what technically defines a Strand game, that we've seen elements of this in games in the past as well, notably like the Souls series.
Yeah.
Though, again, let's wait and see kind of what comes out here. I applaud it. I think it's great to be ambitious. It's great to sort of, push boundaries and try and do something new. And I can't wait to play my first Strand game.
Yeah, we'll look back on that day when we first boot up this game and think about where we were in our first Strand experience. Like it's something. Like it's so polarizing, this game. Like it's just got people talking and just sitting there going, "What is this? Is this going to be some like genre originating title, really? Like, is it going to sort of just divide the gaming community for years to come, where they're just going to critique it either as the best thing ever or the worst thing? Is this going to be, this video game generation's The Room? Is Kojima now Tommy Wiseau?"
This game will be a hit. This game will sell like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I don't know if it'll be a critical success because I reckon there's going to be a lot of mixed reviews. Yeah, I think it'll be widely debated. I think it will be debated for a while.
Yeah, I think so. Like like Kojima's been one to never hold back on ambitious driving factors in his career and things he wants to achieve. And it's cool that he's already talking about subsequent sequels to Death Stranding, so we know we're going to see more of this. And you just know Sony have an infinite truck pulling up to the Kojima studios with money, saying, "Mate, make these until you're 9,000 years old. Like, we don't care."
Say something else. Say something else crazy, and then just get it on camera or something.
More money, just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah, the more obscure and abstract he goes, the higher that bank account goes. I think. Like he's just this, I don't know, mystery man, isn't he?
There's very few personalities in the game dev space, really, isn't there?
Yeah,
and he's definitely a personality. It's fantastic to kind of witness this whole journey, which I think started probably from Metal Gear 5, right? Isn't that the one he got turf from
Yeah,
Konami?
yeah. Five was where like he obviously officially left from Konami. There was years of
resentment
and issues, like even before that, just because he was known to constantly go over budget, miss deadlines, things like that. But like, I guess when you're talking about these creative geniuses and you think whether it be in video games, in music, film, art, whatever, they all work to the beat of their own drum. That deadline you might give them, if they're working on their own internal deadlines, it feels like, with all these sort of creative geniuses. So that's him, and now he's got his own clock that he can sort of work time off with Konami no longer part of his life. So yeah, Death Stranding, the bringing out the new Strand genre. We'll see if there's more to it, because as you said, like the Souls series was one of the first genres games I could think of that started to weave in other people's experiences, whether it be to help or hinder you in the game. So he's certainly not creating something brand new there, but maybe he's got a lot more to add to that to further deepen the Strand genre that he's trying to get off the ground.
I'm going to ask the Platforms and Pitfalls guys.
Yes.
Yeah, because they would know.
Yep.
They would know. They have such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to games. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to send it in. Rowan, if you're listening, I'm going to ask you a question.
Be prepared
Just
for the question.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But that's THE 167. Nice tight little banger. Just full of news. None of that usual filler we parade around here on this podcast.
That bullshit.
Just A1 quality content from Australia's finest. Dreamo, anything you want to say before we close this bad boy down for another week, where we might have the full contingent back for episode 167? 168,
Tekken 7, you know where to find me. Salim TD, hit your boy up. Open challenge. You'll suck.
Sadly, I can't really argue with much of that. I've seen him murk these dogs, and
I'm a monster.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Beast. And go the Giants. Fuck, I hope the Giants win tonight. Odds are against us, but maybe we'll do it. Paying $3.70, not very good odds.
Have faith. Get some money on that. That's some good odds.
It's fucking crazy. We're probably going to lose, but go the Giants.
Have faith.
See. Yeah, I got faith.
Listeners, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe the Hungry Gamers podcast, as well as all the other podcasts in the hashtag 8-Bit Collective, and also the broader podcasting community, because those reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. But until next week, 8-Bit Nation, for episode 168, I'm Brendan. You can find me at Brendan8Bit. You can find Miss Ali Hart at Miss Ali Hart. And you can find Salim TD at Salim TD. And all of us at We Are 8-Bit. But until next week, much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.